Hi everyone, welcome. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on Saturday, July 13th, 2024. And I didn't plan on this, but something said we're going to do it, and we're going to do a quick little spread today. 3 groups that you can choose from, or, choose 1, 2, or all 3 of them if you like. A very big earth energy came in with this setup, so there's a lot of green in the background, which show like emerald crystals, and yeah, green was a big theme in this, so maybe that means something to you. Fire wanted to be represented here on the left, water on the right, and the crystals in the middle. And we got a little bit of the, the earth energies, and with even the little plants and that little vase wanted to be there. So, and I've got some blue, what do I have? Blue, something like water lotus incense burning in the back. So again, we've got all the elements, and of course, air to fuel the fire. And the ether will be the messages coming in the reading. I also have some Presley bluestone and some shungite back there. We've got black tourmaline, a green agate, sorry about the shaking there, and a tiger's eye over here. Those are going to be your 3 choices. So 1 is black tourmaline, 2 is the green agate, and 3 is the tiger's eye. Go ahead and make your selection. And again, keep in mind you can do, 1, 2, or all 3 of them if you like. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this very simple, and let's just see what happens. So I'll start off with group 1, and here we go. So we've got this mushroom. I know in German it's called Fliegepilz, and it's like this toadstool, right? The reddish look on the cap with the white speckles on it, or however you want to refer to that. And actually it looks like a skull of an animal and a moth or butterflies. And it says mushroom, recycling, breaking down problems. So obviously we look at the recycling part as kind of like the circle of life, or the cycle of life. Things die, drop down, decompose, and fertilize and make the soil rich for new life to spring up from it. Things like, I don't know if these are moths or butterflies, but whatever, I guess some kind of moths, and they can drop, well, depending what kind of insect it is, right? It can drop larvae into some of these organic materials, and then from that, new, insects or life is born. But whatever the case, it seems like somewhat of a darker energy, but yet from it becomes, grows life. So mushrooms are their best pretty much when they are in darkness and have some moisture around. And so it's not, everything doesn't have to be growing in the sunlight, and they have tremendous healing properties. I invite you to go look it up on a search. What healing properties are involved with the mushrooms. It's pretty outstanding. They do help with balance, in the body, and they do so many other things. So do look that up, and of course, depending on what type of mushroom it is, right, it'll do different things. But there's also caution with the mushroom, right? There are a lot of mock mushrooms. You got to be very careful if you ever go, in the forest and go mushroom, what do they call it, picking? I don't know what they call it, foraging for mushrooms, because of course, some are pretty deadly, or at least very toxic, or can be very poisonous. So you got to really know what you're doing there. But at the same time, where there is, the danger with them, there's also tremendous positive aspects of them. They also have an interesting way, I think, a system of communication amongst each other. And there's just so much to delve into and learn about the mushroom and how they grow, I guess, in colonies. And again, there's kind of like a communication aspect. People, I think, are just coming into a real good study on that. So you might want to look into that. But again, if we look at the messages down at recycling, breaking down problems. So this could mean a lot to you depending on where you're at. Recycling, we often think of just, items maybe in the kitchen that we throw into recycling. There are different ways of recycling with composting. That might be a message for somebody to try that, get into that if you have the opportunity, with land or space to do it. And also maybe it's a time to kind of revisit some things, and maybe in the past, and maybe kind of getting in touch with some of the shadow work, darker things in the past, maybe acknowledging them, feeling it, maybe crying through it, just to really get the last little vestiges of that out of your system and your body, and maybe just kind of blow a kiss to it and wave it goodbye and say, okay, now it's time for you to leave me, all those thoughts, I really don't want to visit them anymore, and I release them, blow them a kiss, send them out into the ethers, and just let it go, and let that get recycled and broken down into something else on a spiritual level, right? And then breaking down problems, that would be a part of it. Just kind of analyze it, and maybe not go too deep into it. We got the The mushrooms, they do come up on the surface, and then they mostly grow above once they get to a certain point. So just let things come to the surface. But, look at them, acknowledge them. And again, just maybe blow them a kiss, just say and say goodbye, wave them goodbye. You served me some of these, problems and issues in my life and challenges. But in that darkness, I really grew. We grew in that darkness. So I'm grateful for that aspect of it, and I'm ready to let it go. And like these little insects, I'm ready to let it fly. Okay, that's all I want to say for now. Now your bonus card is interesting. It comes from the Lord of the Rings deck. Very, actually beautiful deck. If you're not familiar with the Lord of the Rings, it won't matter. I'll try to read the message in a way that makes sense. It is a tarot deck, and we get number 9. 9 of Swords. Okay, so I am going to read this from this rather large, it's not a book, it's not a description book, but it's like a description chart or map. It's pretty cool. Let's see, so let's go to, what did I say? Gotta flip this over, give me a minute. Here we go. I'm gonna read it straight from here, and I gotta zoom in, so give me a minute if it's a little blurry. But here we go, 9 of Swords. So it did come out upright, but I'm going to read both the upright and the reverse position. And as I read, just try to listen and just see what jumps out at you in either of the, upright or reversed. So upright, it may seem as though you are facing the sharp end of Anduril. It's a sword, name of a sword. Just waiting for that unbreakable blade to pierce your armor. But the 9 of Swords cuts even deeper, severing your worries and shining with truth. Your anxiety is getting the better of you, turning dreams into nightmares and friends into foes. Seek objective insight and allow the truth to be the sharpest blade in your armory. And actually, this does go very well with your group because, whoops, let me come back here. Okay, you see the swords. I'm going to put that away. This really ties in well with your group because it's talking about things, as you recollect in the past, it's turning, dreams or things into nightmares and friends into foes. So as you go back in this recycling or breaking down your problems and looking things, maybe from the past and darker things, now it's time to not let the illusion, mushrooms can also give hallucinations. Don't let that, don't look at things through, I don't want to tell you what to do directly. I'm just saying maybe don't look at things through a jaded lens or one that's going to turn situations kind of more poisonous. If you recall the darkness, even more poisonous, if I want to say that, or than it really was. Try to remove that lens and see it from like a healthy aspect, healthy mushroom aspect, and look at the past and try to see it for what it really was, taking away any judgments or things that would kind of taint or warp your vision, right? And so in this extra bonus card, it's about cutting away anything that might, cause you to look at things with darkness and anxiety. See it in from a state of being healthy and looking back and trying to work and move through it with objective insight, as they said. So for me, it jumps out here. Seek objective insight and allow the truth to be the sharpest blade in your armory, okay? Now we're going to look at this. If this card were reversed, it would says, in this hour, you must believe that no darkness can endure. You have conquered your fears, have banished your nightmares, and can see things for what they are. Mark this moment and remember it in the future. Everything that scares you can be defeated. Okay? So yeah, once again, the darkness is an ally for the mushroom. That's where it thrives and does its best. So just look at it that whatever you've gone through in the past that was dark, it's becoming your ally now, because now you know what it's like to see through the darkness and to grow through the darkness. And then, like I said, just kiss and wave it goodbye. Let it fly away. All right, that's it for group 1. Now, group 2, yeah, we got the green agate, and let's get into your reading. I'm going to move this away so we don't get distracted. Okay, so let's have a look. And we have a tree. We've got some Celtic symbolism in the background. And we have this beautiful little forest person, and it says number 20, where it's a number 2, step out, hidden, courage, camouflage. So this overall reading was, again, like I said at the beginning in the intro, very much about being grounded in crystals and grounding energies. And so, it carries through into this card with the tree and even the tree person. The person is touching the tree. What comes to mind here, there's going to be 2 things. Let me come down here first. So this message is going to be for somebody who maybe you've been a little too hermit-like lately, and this is encouraging you to step out. Even if you don't go out amongst people, which I think is a good thing to do, it's saying here, even if you're kind of hesitant to do that, you'll be camouflaged. You can observe. And for a lot of us in this spiritual journey we're on, if you found my channel, I assume that you're in one or realize you're on one. Sometimes we pick up, if you're really sensitive to the energies, it could be a little bit overwhelming, or you don't enjoy going out in and amongst the public. But keep in mind that, if you're on such a journey, you're actually being called to be out and amongst the people for bringing, the good energy into a room or into a setting. But it might be a little intimidating. And if that applies to you, this is just encouraging you that it's okay to step out. Just go out with intention and say, I am shielded, right? It's like a shield, shielded and protected by not only the elements around me, but spirit and God and love. And that I can go out and it's safe, and I can be shielded from the energies and just bring my special blend of light and love and goodness out into the world. Now, it might be, if that's a little too much and overwhelming for you at the moment. Again, this is only going to apply to some people, and it's fine. Maybe this, that's too much of a step. Maybe you need to take more of like a little baby step. Nothing, derogatory or negative about that. Just a little step out, and maybe that just means just going out your front door, looking at a tree, just walking on the grass, just anything just nearby you, very local. That's okay too. That is taking a step out. And maybe it's just being more, you wanted to just vibe in and feel more protected just with nature energies and not really mingle with people. So again, this is either going to be an encouragement to get out of wherever you're living or sleeping, get out, step out amongst people, muster up your courage. You will stay hidden and protected and camouflaged if the energies are too much for you. So don't worry, don't fear it. Just go out. Even if you're just going out to go get an item from a store, like milk or whatever, bread, whatever you're doing, just take that bigger step out. Or if that's a little too much, take a little step out into nature. Also, I just want to remind that nature is very healing. And in this card, this little tree person is touching the tree. It's not only healing, but it also can give wisdom. So as you step out, if you're just going out into nature, this is just a little call to just really tap into nature and not just, walk through it or on it, but maybe, actually touch that tree, hug that tree even, and just be very quiet and try to maybe practice a little telepathy. If you don't know how to do it or haven't done it already, just get really quiet and just in your mind, just say, hey, tree, thanks for being here. Thanks for blessing this property or blessing this area. I just want to sit with you, any wisdoms you care to share with me, and then get real quiet. And you might don't be surprised if you hear something ever so silently coming back at you. I've done this and it does work. And you can hear some very interesting things. So that might be a call to go out and give that a try. Also, if you're feeling a little out of balance, you just put your hand on that tree and ask the tree if it doesn't mind absorbing or taking away any energies that you don't want to carry in your body, and ask the tree to carry that down into the ground, and then ask the earth too, the conjunction with the tree, to take that and transmute and distribute and disperse and diminish that energy into the earth itself. So that's what I'm getting for now. Now let's go to your bonus card, and you've got the wheel. Okay. I'm sorry, the world. I looked at it as the wheel because it looks like all the four seasons. It's the world, pardon me, or number 21. And 21 can also further be taken down to a number 3. So, I was thinking the wheel because it looks like all the seasons, but it's the world. And look at the sunflowers. It's kind of like the sun card in a way. It's like, it's a very positive card. You've got it all. And it's kind of in conjunction with your reading. Like, again, it's an echoing of get out in nature, whether it's night or day, no matter what time of the year. There's always some kind of treasure or some interesting thing, wisdoms, good vibrations, healing that you're going to receive just by stepping out into the world to discover these things. Go out and, roll around in a leaf pile if it's autumn. Pick those lilies of the valley and smell them. Let snowflakes fall on your eyelashes. It's all about being very tactile out in nature, with that little tree person touching the tree even. The sunflowers, just go out and sit in a field of them if you can and watch how they turn in the sun and face the sun over the course of the day. Just really get out there. And it's just a very happy, wholesome cards, happy and wholesome cards. And, just echoing that if you just take that little step, a lot of happy surprises are going to come your way. Okay? And that's it for group 2. And now we're going to move on to group 3. All right, group 3. What's interesting with your group is you got 2 cards fell out, unlike the other groups. Oh, and you're the Tiger's Eye, as a reminder. Okay, so on this card, we already start to see some constellations, and we've got flowers, crystals. Let's see what this says. It says Azurite and Orchid, Lyran, Stargate, personal power, healing entanglements, and throat opening. Okay, yeah, they got a lot of the throat chakra colors with the blue. And then I'm going to put this over here, and we're going to look at your second card. And they do kind of tie in together. Your second one is very interesting, looks very celestial, but also with the flower. And it is Numite and Black Dahlia, the void, ego shattering, soul fragments, and emptying. So I think I'm going to start with the void first, because we got the void, and then we've got Lyran Stargate, as the main messages, the themes anyway. So the interesting thing with the void, I mean, both are very cosmic. I'm going to put them actually side by side. We've got in here with the dahlia, the black dahlia, we got what looks like, a black hole with a void. We got looks like a trickle of stars, and we've got stars, through the background. They really do kind of go hand in hand. And what I want to say is the void can also be the 0 point of creation, or that literally black slate moment where the world is your canvas. You're starting at 0. You can fill that up with, create whatever with your imagination, your mind's eye. You're starting fresh, and you can create any number of things. There's no limit to it. And it is that moment where you just get quiet, and, you take everything down to 0 so that you can create anew. So in that, they're talking about ego shattering, soul fragments, and emptying. So yeah, it's about just coming to getting all of the other distractions, getting distractions out of the way so that you can start fresh and pure and clean. Then we come over to the Stargate, and they're talking about, let me come back here again, if I can, it'll focus, personal